Hi, I'm Joanna O'Connell. Welcome to The Road to Cannes, a Beat TV series presented by Freewheel. I'm here with Rob Klippel, the SVP of Advanced Advertising Products and Strategy at Spectrum Reach, where he's helping shape the next generation of advanced advertising solutions for the company. Thanks for being here, Rob.
Absolutely.
So, speaking of TV, there's a huge amount of change happening in the TV ecosystem, lots of evolution in consumer behavior and in the ecosystem itself, right, that allows consumers to consume the content that they love. Companies like Spectrum Reach were traditionally focused on local advertisers. Is that changing?
It is, and we serve advertisers and customers of all sizes, including national. Local and regional has been a core of ours, but we do focus on national, and largely a large part of our national execution is through our partner Ampersand. We have now the national addressable targeting. We've made great strides in our programmatic offerings and great growth there, and we are working with agencies and national brands on the programmatic front. We also have scale. Our Spectrum TV streaming service, in terms of hours viewed per household, is the #1 streaming service in our markets. So compared to all other streaming platforms, even though we're not in all markets, it's still a top 10 national streaming platform. So, we have scale that helps on the national front, and I think in the days of kind of experimentation or where viewers are jumping across streaming services and they're trying to chase or find content, we have a consistent, valuable, highly engaged audience that I think is of interest to both local and national advertisers.
Does that feel like maybe a myth or an old perception that you're sort of fighting with advertisers, that CTV has a scale problem?
It's interesting. So the recent Nielsen Gauge report that came out earlier this year, I think just a couple of months ago, that's showing now that 34% of all television viewing is streaming. Comscore also came out with the finding that about 55% growth of ad-supported viewing has occurred over the past couple of years. So, I think a couple of things. So streaming is larger and is continuing to grow, but ad-supported viewing is kind of the much, if not most, of that growth. I mean, when ad-supported viewing was growing, that's at a time when the traditional SVOD services were starting to show challenges and signs of decline. I think the other thing that helps with scale is that we've always looked at things more holistically. It's not just streaming, but how do we reach audiences across multiple different types of media, right? Whether it's linear or streaming or other kind of connected or digital inventory. And so I think that with that we have scale and we have audiences that are appealing for advertisers of all types.
So, advertisers care about performance at the end of the day, right? Since we ended on advertisers, I'm going to pick that back up. Digital, and I will fully admit my career has been spent in the digital world, I think is traditionally thought of as being kind of more measurable, sort of faster, easier to measure, more closed loop. What are you seeing in terms of how TV is advancing, how it thinks about measurement?
I think TV measurement, you're right, it has been challenging. I think it's made great strides. One of the things that we have done is formed partnerships that have really helped us kind of advance an attribution platform that I think is industry best. We don't look at just TV attribution, streaming attribution. Our focus is multi-screen, and we have the ability to tie in identity across those various media. So, our attribution solution is looking at audience reach across linear and digital. We can deduplicate it. We can show attribution as a whole, or what part TV versus streaming contributed to that attribution. And so, we're looking at it from a very broad perspective and trying to bring not only TV as being measurable and attributable, but also tie it together with digital and other streaming inventory. To that end, we have partnerships with attribution vendors like Innovid and Full Throttle and many others. We also partner and have invested in Blockgraph because they bring a capability. They can manage the collective data, but they can manage it securely, but also with an ultimate respect for kind of transparency and privacy. So, I think that ultimately we're looking for solutions that are simple and scalable, and brand safe and privacy compliant.
Yeah, I mean, privacy compliance is something that, those are, it can feel like just words that we throw around, but having kind of ultimate respect for the consumer and the consumer's right to transparency or to have the ability to choose. So I'm appreciating hearing you say that you guys are sort of committed to that and investing in that. So this is a series about the road to Cannes. So we are, facing the French Riviera right in front of us in a few weeks. Can you just talk a little bit about some of the topics that you are particularly interested in discussing at Cannes?
There's three areas that I'm really focused on while I'm out in Cannes. The first is programmatic, and then addressability and data, and then our Xumo joint venture with Comcast. From a programmatic standpoint, we have inventory and audiences at scale. One of the things that I think is unique to us is our Spectrum News offering. And when you look at programming today, news and sports are still areas that still have highly engaged, live viewing. And so we've invested heavily in news. We have news across 60 plus of our markets. And then in addition, we've launched Spectrum News Plus, which is a streaming service, so that makes it available to all of our markets. So, we've rolled that into our programmatic offering. I think that again makes us very unique, and it's inventory that is highly engageable and is going to add to the mix in our scale. From addressability standpoint, we launched our linear addressable platform a number of years ago. And as we've discussed, we've continued to kind of fold that into the rest of our digital and other targetable media. And we're continuing to work with our programming partners to extend that to their, to extend those capabilities to their inventory as well. But the other thing that we're looking to do now is focus on kind of scale and simplicity and improved workflow. So, with BlockRef and Cadence, we have launched a portal that in essence allows our advertisers to upload their own first-party data, de-identified and aggregated first-party data. And in a privacy-forward way, we can create audience segments that we can then use for activation, for targeting, for measurement, or for attribution. And so, that gives us a much simplified workflow. The amazing thing about it is very fast. It takes minutes. As opposed to the old way of kind of executing.
That is an improvement.
And crosswalks,
Yep.
and it could take days or weeks. So, we're making advances on the addressable side as well. And then finally, Xumo is the streaming joint venture between us and Comcast. I think, one of the core things for Charter and for Spectrum is that it's going to transform how we're delivering our core video platform to our customers. Our video distribution is now going to be digital, and that means our core linear product will behave and act just like other streaming and connected kind of digital inventory. It could be dynamically, decisioned. It's addressable. We get data back quickly for ad impressions, so we can have quicker attribution results and be able to change pacing based on what we're seeing. And then also it can be programmatically executed. The other thing that the joint venture brings to us is an ability to participate in the third-party inventory and the inventory for the third-party apps that are riding on the platform as well. So, really excited about the joint venture. It's going to be we'll be launching Xumo to our customers in the back half of this year. And really excited to kind of engage and have discussions around this while I'm out in Cannes.
I imagine the appetite will be strong as the world moves to a more streaming future. Rob, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time, and I will look forward to seeing you on a beach somewhere in southern France.
I'd love that.
Yes,
I look forward
indeed.
to it as well. Thank you.
Perfect.